Good morning to all. Let's continue with the remaining part of chapter 2. But before we start, just recap the previous part. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages. But I hesitated. For some reason I can't explain. And I lost the chance to get away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face when he discovered the theft would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of the money, but for the loss of trust. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly. It was early November, and light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. Here we see when Hari Singh reaches the railway station, he dashes to the platform without bothering to buy any ticket, for he does not believe in buying tickets. He says that the train for Lucknow has just started moving, but for some unexplainable reason, he hesitates and does not board it. After the train leaves, he moves on the deserted platform. He has no idea where to go. He thinks that prolonging his stay would raise suspicion, and staying in a nearby hotel too would be risky. He has no friends because in his profession, friends could be more of a trouble. Anil, the man he has just robbed, is the only person he knows in the town. So he leaves the station and walks slowly through the bazaar. While walking, he contemplates that he can study human faces and tell that a greedy man is full of fear on being robbed. A rich man gets angry, whereas a poor man shows resignation, acceptance. However, he realizes that on finding the theft, Anil would feel sad, not because he has just suffered a loss, but because of the loss of trust. While thinking this, he reaches a maidan and sits down on a bench. In the meantime, a drizzle starts which shortly turns into a heavy rain. The early November night is quite chilly and Hari's face and clothes become wet. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from rain. Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences, I knew, could one day bring me more than a few 100 rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. Now here we see he goes back to the bazaar, sits down in the shelter of the clock tower, and the clock displays the midnight hour. He feels the wet notes hidden in his pajama string. Hari's conscience begins to prick him. He thinks that had he not stolen the money, Anil would have perhaps given him 2 or 3 rupees in the morning to go to the cinema. Although he now has all the money, he would no longer be able to learn to write. Education could have made him a great, clever, and respected man, whereas stealing would not lead him anywhere. He decides to go back to Anil to learn reading and writing. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you'll be paid regularly. My spirits rose. But when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today we will start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. Finally, Hari comes back nervously to the room, finds Anil still fall asleep. He slips the bundle of notes under his mattress and goes off to sleep. Next morning, he gets up late and finds that Anil has already made tea. He comes to Hari Singh with a 50 rupee note in his hand. He gives it to him, saying that he had made some money the previous day. He also assures to pay him regularly. Hari feels happy and takes the note, which he notices was still wet from the night's rain. Anil tells Hari that they would begin writing sentences. Hari understands that his master is aware about the theft of the previous night but chooses to ignore it. A reformed Hari smiles in his usual way, but this time the smile is effortless and spontaneous. So, here we end up the lesson with a message that even bad people have some inherent good in them, and that the right circumstances, the right time, together with the feelings of conscience and forgiveness, can even transform the evil into good. Here we have seen, though Hari Singh was a thief, but at the last, finally, he felt guilty about what he has done, and he wanted to put back the stolen money in its place. And he pledges to learn reading and writing in order to lead an honorable life.